and today I am here not to do a wig review, but I actually have a guest star. This is my husband, Brandon.
Hi.
And the reason that I have him with me today is one of the hair groups that I'm a member of on Facebook. There are a lot of women who have a lot of questions as far as how do I handle dating and wearing hair, or how do I tell a man that I'm dating that my hair is helper hair, or maybe that I wear wigs or something like that. And so I thought maybe getting a male's perspective might help. And so I'm going to kind of do a little Q&A with my man and see what his thoughts are, and kind of go also into a little bit of my journey into wearing helper hair and how I, brought it up to him. And the way that started is we've been together for over 7 years. Over 7 years. And we've been married for almost 4.5 years. And I didn't start wearing wigs until maybe a year and a half ago is when I really started to get into them and started to play around with them and try and master the art of making them look natural. And the reason was just because I got to a point where it just seemed like my hair thinning was so bad that it was getting harder and harder and harder to hide it. And, I always had not long hair, but just like kind of this length, I guess, hair. And I started noticing that you could actually see through it when I had my hair down. And, wearing the Topics powder and stuff like that, that's not going to help when you have longer hair and you realize you can see through your hair. And so it was when I got to that point that I thought, okay, I need to look into maybe wearing a wig. And at the time I had no idea that toppers were a thing. I knew that people got extensions, but I also know that, extensions can do a lot of damage to your hair, and I really wasn't comfortable going that route. And so I'm a very direct kind of person, and we kind of joke that when I first told him that I wanted to dabble in the wig, and the idea of wearing wigs, I pretty much just said, this is what I'm doing now, and you're going to have to deal with it. So
pretty much.
He really didn't get much of a say when I decided to start wearing wigs. And I ordered my first wig, and it came in and it looked ridiculous, and I looked like I had a cat on my head. And at that time I didn't have the skill or the know-how to maybe thin it out or blend it with my hairline or do the different tips and tricks that I've come to learn to make it look more natural. So it was basically just trial and error. That one didn't work. Okay, I'll get another one, maybe a different color, maybe a different length. Maybe I need to try one that's straight. Maybe I need to try one that's wavy. Just to, kind of play around and see what looks best on me. But when I first told him that I wanted to start wearing helper hair, your reaction was just kind of like, why, I think.
Yeah.
And I think that he was confused just because, like, he said to me, well, why you have hair, And I guess as a guy, it doesn't occur to him that, well, yeah, but my hair's really thin, and yeah, but you can see my scalp and you can see through my hair, and they're guys, they don't know.
That doesn't occur to us, because when we go bald, we just go bald. There's not a whole lot we do about it. So it's like you never think about it.
Yeah. And I actually, when I decided to make this video, I asked some of the ladies in the hair group that I'm in on Facebook, what questions do you have for guys? And when I first told you, what did you initially think? Like,
what do you mean? About just you wearing wigs, or about wigs in general?
Well, when I first came to you and said, I think my hair loss is getting kind of bad, I think I want to try wearing a wig. Well,
I did at first think, why? Because you do have hair, and I don't know, maybe I'm just not too observant, but I didn't see all the little spots that you were seeing. First thing I thought of, though, with wigs was, it's going to look like a Halloween costume.
And I think a lot of people, that's their first impression. Mm-hmm. If they've never seen you own a wig, say you're going to try and tell your friends or family or your husband or whomever, I think a lot of people get that impression that it's going to look wiggy, it's going to look fake,
Because that's, when people are out wearing wigs and you notice, like, you're not trying to blend it in with your hair, that's what it looks like. They're wearing Halloween costumes and that sort of thing. So when you started showing me videos of, like, look at this person and how they blend it and stuff, it's like, holy crap, you can't even tell. Mm-hmm. But I never really cared. Just the first thing I thought was, okay.
Did you think that it was, like, embarrassing? Like, were you embarrassed that...
No. No, because I know, like I just said a minute ago, when men go bald, there ain't a whole lot you can do about it. But if I started going bald, I'd probably panic. Because I don't want to look like my grandpa did. But so like I get it, and I was like, okay, let's give it a shot. Started looking around at some cheap ones and found one. And he started playing with it, and when he put it on, I was like, holy crap, you really can't tell.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of it has to do with too the type of wig that you get. Obviously, if you are only looking to spend a couple of dollars, you're going to have to learn how to work with what you have, and you can make a really cheap wig actually look natural. There are so many YouTubers out there who specialize in doing that. So don't panic if it's something where you don't have $500 laying around to go buy, like a John Renault kind of wig. Don't even worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, so how did it feel when I finally found one and I looked in the mirror and thought, okay, this looks okay. And, I figured out how to sort of blend it with my hairline to look a little more natural. When we went out in public that first time, were you self-conscious that people would notice or?
No. I know you were. I think one of the first times that we went out in public, we were at a mall, and the whole time you're just kind of, I can't tell if they're just looking at me or if they're looking at my hair. And I started paying attention when you started pointing that out. I'm like, I don't think they were looking at your hair. And, I'd noticed people just wanted to talk to you. Hi, can I help you? See where their eyes are going. I don't think anyone was checking out your hair, but I tried to kind of help you with that little barrier, but no, I didn't care. I thought your hair was extremely convincing.
And that was another thing too, is the first time I decided to wear a wig out of the house and out in front of people, we went to a mall that's sort of near where we live, but it's far enough away that I wasn't really worried about running into anyone I knew. And that was kind of my test run. So I got one that I thought looked pretty natural, and I blended it the best I knew how after watching, YouTube videos for hours and tutorials on how to do it. And I went out in public to a place where I didn't think I was going to run into anyone that I knew, just to gauge how people reacted, to see if they were looking at me, were they looking at my hair. And then I told him too, like, tell me if you see somebody, oh my God, you have to tell me if they're looking at my, if they're looking at my hair, or if you see somebody whispering, let me know. And so that was sort of how I started wearing wigs, was go out in public, wear it somewhere that I don't know anybody. So if they have, if they're going to whisper to whoever they're with, I don't give a shit because I don't know these people. I don't care if some lady at the mall who, doesn't even have her lipstick on right cares about what my hair looks like,
Yeah.
And so that was kind of how I tested the waters, so to speak. Did you think the first time we went out like that, and I want to say that it was like a little one that I got off some little website online. But did you think that it was kind of a cheap wig? But did you think that when you looked at me, did you think that it looked fake?
No.
So you didn't think I look completely different or?
No. It was kind of odd seeing you for the first time wearing a wig cap, just because I'd never seen that before outside of a movie or anything.
It kind of looks like a shower cap.
Yeah, it was just weird. Not I don't know, not extremely weird, just I've never seen you like that before. But no, you kind of turned it into a craft. You didn't really put it on until you figured out how to, thin out the front or how to make it blend with your hairline or anything like that. You did a lot of playing before you just stuck to it and started going out.
And I did too. I watched several different YouTubers who knew how to make, because sometimes the front could be too thick and that's what makes it look wiggy, or sometimes there's too much permatease and that makes it look wiggy. So I did so much research, and I mean hours upon hours of watching other YouTubers perfect it and figure out what makes it look wiggy, number one, and how to fix it. So I did spend a lot of time on that before I was comfortable even wearing it out of my house in front of strangers, because people are judgmental. And I normally, I don't give a shit what people think of me. I am very if you don't like me, that's your problem. Or if you don't like the way I do my makeup or the way I do my hair, then screw you. That has, it's your problem, not mine. But I was a little self-conscious, and not even because of what other people would think of me, because I didn't want to, me personally, I didn't want to look like I was wearing a costume wig. I didn't want, I wanted something that would make me feel like I looked like the normal me. That was my biggest thing. I just wanted to feel and look like the normal me before I started losing a lot of my hair. And to this day, I have no idea why I lost any hair. And it's not like I'm bald or anything. I mean, this is just a topper that I have on. John Renault Top Secret, 12 inches, color number 8. But like, I mean, I just have a topper on now, and it's not like I'm bald. I have plenty of hair underneath. It's just I'm more sparse on the crown, I guess. And um, but yeah, that like I've never had any tests done. I've never gone to the doctor. I've never, like people in my family kind of have thin hair, so I don't care enough to spend, hundreds or thousands of dollars on testing and how do my labs look, and oh, maybe if I try this, or if I go on this prescription, or if I do, buy this, $20 bottle shampoo that might help. And I mean, the truth of the matter is, I personally don't think that there's any kind of miracle thing out there that's going to magically make all my hair come back or make my hair so much fuller. At this point, it's kind of like I could use all that money that some people, spend on doctor visits and testing. I can use that to go out and buy a nice human hair topper or a wig, or, that to me is cool because then I can change my look every day. Now, and I'm not trying to, insult anybody who does spend that money on going to the doctor and doing testing. That, I mean, like, it's different for every person. Every person deals with this differently. I'm kind of I don't give a shit person. It's like, these are the cards I was dealt. I'm just going to learn to live with it. And some people, to them it is very worth it to find out the root cause of why they're losing their hair, and that's fine. I mean, more power to you, man, because I don't have that kind of time or money, and I don't want to put all that effort into it, but especially because it runs in my family. So I kind of think there's my answer. I don't really need to look into it all that much. I'm otherwise healthy, so, but, to each their own. More power to you. Now, some of the things that people, and I wrote down your questions for those of you who commented on my post in the hair group, dating a wig wearer.
Yeah.
If you went out on a date with somebody and say you had just met them, and you have no idea that their hair is fake, at what point do you think you would be comfortable with a girl coming out and telling you that she wears a wig or that she wears a topper or helper hair of any kind? Would you think that was weird? How do you think they should bring that up?
I think a lot of guys are gonna have questions, just like, oh, well, I don't want to make it sound like it's obscure or anything, but I think guys are gonna ask, oh, are you wearing one now? And just kind of have a general interest in it. But if you're actually out on a date, maybe, just bring it up in conversation or whatever. And I would bring it up earlier rather than later, because I don't think surprises are just a good thing. You know this guy for a year, and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, I wear wigs. And they're like, well, why didn't you tell me? Why would you even hide that? But I really don't think most people would care. It'd just be that kind of, you don't look like you're wearing a Halloween wig. I've never seen one in person that I noticed. So, and then, general curiosity.
I think part of it too is just men are generally ignorant to wig wearing, especially if they can't tell. And so many wigs nowadays look so natural that you'd have no idea somebody is wearing a wig. So I think a lot of it is just they would have questions as more of a surprise that, oh my God, that's a wig, or you're wearing fake hair. I think a lot of it is just because they genuinely can't tell, and that's what makes them have questions.
Yeah. You're also not the first person I ever dated who wears wigs.
And that's true too.
Yeah, there's this girl when I was, probably 19 or 20. It wasn't a real long relationship or anything, but she came out just while we were talking, before we ever dated or anything. So while we were talking, that she was a trichotillomaniac, and she just pulled her hair out of nervous habit, and because of that, she had thin hair, so she wore wigs. And I was just kind of, oh. I thought it was strange that she pulled her hair out, but didn't deter me because of the wigs or anything.
So, like, would you be turned off?
No.
If you were out with a stranger and say things were your date's going well. I mean, if you're on a date with somebody and it's going well and you're having good conversations, like, what kind of approach, I guess, do you think would be the best way to tell somebody? Because me, generally, I would make a joke of it. That's just how I'm comfortable telling people. If they mention my hair or, if hair should, for any reason, come up in conversation, I'm like, oh, do you like mine? I paid for it. That's my personality. I'm more comfortable making it a joke to tell somebody that
I think that would probably be the best way to do it. Just bring it up as a joke, kind of like you were saying, or bring it up in a slightly roundabout way. Like if you're at a restaurant, waitress says, oh, I love your hair, say, thanks, I bought it. Bring it up that way, and then eventually the guy's probably going to go, really? And then, that'll start the conversation. But don't act nervous about it. First off, there's no reason to be nervous about it. I mean, he obviously finds you attractive, so that's why he's taking you out.
True.
Guys don't care about that. Guys really just don't care about your wigs. Just bring it up casually. Be confident, be yourself, and just say, this is what I do. And the guy's probably not going to care. I don't think most guys will care.
Mm-hmm. So, like, and you said sooner rather than later. So, I mean, do you think first date is too soon? Do you think wait a month or two? Or do you think just kind of gauge it on how things are going?
Gauge it. I can't really speak for every relationship. But with that one girl, the trichotillomaniac, she told me before we went on a first date. I mean, our talks were going well and all that. But I would just imagine if things are going well the first, second, third date, somewhere in there would probably be a good time to bring it up. Because guys just don't want to be surprised. Mm-hmm. I don't think anybody really wants to be surprised with any kind of secrets or anything like that. As small and dumb as they may be or whatever. Plus, if they happen to be a person that's not into it, like just an oddball guy I think that would reflect his own self-confidence issues. But if he happens to be one of those guys, then it's just better that it's done at the beginning. But like I said, I think that's mostly their issue. They don't want to be seen with you because they don't want to be thought of as whatever themselves. Like kind of the guys with oversized trucks for absolutely no reason.
So, how about when, I told you that I was wearing wigs and, obviously you knew when we went out and my hair was fake. And I did tell my family as well, my immediate family. I just kind of said, hey, this is what I'm doing now. And they, had no choice. It was like, go along with it or don't. I don't know. But like, my in-laws, his parents and everything, I pretty much told them, I didn't really tell them I'm doing it because I'm self-conscious about my hair loss. I just kind of told them that I was doing it because I just thought it was cool to be able to change my look all the time and different wig for a different outfit. And, and it's none of their business anyways. You don't owe anyone an explanation as to why you wear hair. But I mean, were you embarrassed for your friends or family to know that your wife wears wigs or toppers or...
No, I was kind of worried about how my parents would take it because they're just extremely judgmental. And it's not that I didn't want them, like, judging you. It's just, like, how would they turn that to affect our relationship because it's kind of rocky anyway. But no, I mean, it's like, this is my wife. What the hell do I care? You not approving isn't going to split us apart.
What about telling your friends? Like, because some of your friends do know that my hair is fake. I mean, are you embarrassed around your guy friends or...
No.
Like, it doesn't bother you that...
No. Like, it's come up at work with my work friends that, you're at home doing a wig review while I'm at work. And, stuff like that. They all know that you do this. And they just... Nobody really seems to view it as anything more different than just putting on makeup.
So, like, you've never heard, like, they haven't made any comments about, well, that's weird. Why does she wear fake hair? Or, like, they don't ask, or they just don't seem to care?
No, like, maybe the occasional, like, well, does she have cancer? Because that's what you think of. Mm-hmm. When you're bald, you wear wigs. That's what guys think of anyway. And it's like, no, she has hair. She just thinks they're fun and make her look pretty and whatever. And that's just kind of it. And we're mean to each other. Our sense of humor at work is horrible. And
he works with all guys.
Yes, I work with all guys, and we're all mechanics, and you know how sometimes that can be. And it's never been held over my head as a joke or anything. Nobody's ever brought it up as any kind of anything. Like, they just don't care. It comes up in casual conversation, and that's it.
So let me ask you this. He's 30, so, he's not like a teenager or early 20s anymore. So say that you're single and you take somebody out and everything is seemingly normal, but maybe you notice that she looks a little bit off in the sense of, how some women will shave their eyebrows and draw on fake ones just because. But say you go out with somebody and you realize that, like, maybe her eyebrows don't look quite right, or maybe, you notice something about them that's a little bit off and you can't put your finger on it, and it turns out that maybe they have alopecia, so they have no body hair, they have no eyelashes, they have no eyebrows. And they tell you this, how how do you think that would make you feel, knowing that this woman probably goes home at the end of the day, washes off her, eyebrows, or, unglues her eyelashes and takes off her wig? How would that make you feel about her? Like, what would your thoughts be?
Probably would have more interest in is it a disease or is it a disorder?
And it's just sort of, and I don't know about a lot about alopecia, so forgive my ignorance, but I think it's just like not a disorder, it's just like a condition.
I think I would have more interest in that than the fact that she wears fake eyebrows or hair. Because anymore, a lot of women just shave off their eyebrows and draw it on. And I mean, people pay
It's like a fashion thing.
Yeah, people pay good money to go to an eyebrow sculptor and other things that I don't understand. So, so I mean, it's already a common thing. You kind of expect when you walk around just in society these days, you're going to run into women like that. I probably wouldn't think twice. And honestly, if she didn't tell me, there's a good chance I may not have known. Because with the way you style your wigs and the way women already mess with their eyebrows and stuff, I wouldn't notice.
So, would you have... I mean, naturally, I think you would have curiosity about, well, what does she look like when she washes her face and when she, takes off her hair at the end of the night? I mean, how would you feel about that if if you were to see her for the first time and she doesn't have any of that stuff on?
I don't think it's any different than seeing any woman you're dating for the first time without any makeup on.
So, like, but if she has no hair, if she has no eyebrows, I don't
know. I don't think that would bother me so much. I really don't. Because that's not a big deciding factor into why I have relationships with people. I have relationships with people because I think they're funny, because we have things in common. You'll be beautiful. I will find you attractive no matter what, just because of your confidence and all the things we have in common and stuff. And it's just like, I don't know. It's kind of a different way to take care of yourself. I wouldn't date a woman who doesn't bathe. I wouldn't date a woman who, I don't know, just...
You better not be dating anybody.
Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Just stuff like that. So it's like, okay, that's just another layer. That's no different than putting on your makeup. And I don't know. I really don't think I would care. And no more than, the first time you told me, it's like, oh, okay, there's this mild and curiosity about it, and then, all right.
And I think too, confidence is key. When you tell your significant other, or when you tell anybody, be proud of it. Own it. Don't make it seem like you're self-conscious about it and you're, it's just an insecurity of yours. I really think that the way that you present it to people is key. When you're confident about it, they're fine with it, know? If you act like you're afraid to tell them, like it's something you're really insecure about, I think that's when people tend to pay more attention to it. I think that's when they have more questions than they, because if you seem like you're not confident about it, then they seem like they're not confident. They're not going to be confident about it, and maybe that'll make them more self-conscious if they're out with you. If you are self-conscious about it, then they feel like they need to be self-conscious about it too. The way that I present it to people, even people at work, is I make it seem like this is the norm. This is my normal. I wear fake hair, and you may see me tomorrow, my hair could be blonde, and I might have auburn hair the next day, and it could be short today, and it could be long and straight tomorrow, or it could be curly, and eventually people just don't notice, it just becomes the norm, but yeah, I think it's all about presentation, and it's about being confident, this is who you are. And so what if you have fake hair? Who gives a shit? I wear makeup every day. I don't even like to go out to the mailbox without makeup on. That's just me, I don't like to go to work without makeup on. It's no different than people who have their nails done all the time. Those aren't their real nails, People wear fake eyelashes all the time for no reason at all. It's no different. It's an accessory. It can be, a fashion thing. Who cares? You don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't have to defend it. It's something that makes you feel better, and that's all that matters. It does not matter what other people say or what they think, or if they're going to look at you funny, or you smile at them and keep walking. Who gives a shit? And it gets to the point where when you stop caring, everybody else stops caring. I think that's key. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Well, just kind of adding on to that. When you bring it up, say you're already married or dating somebody and you want to wear wigs, don't ask permission. You can... hey, what are your thoughts on this? Or, I'm thinking about starting to wear wigs or whatever, but don't ask them. Because, I probably would have said, why do you need a wig? You have hair. You cancer, you're not bald, you're not, why do you need it? And it might turn into, men sometimes aren't the best with words. I'm horrible with words. So it might turn into a negative thing when the guy doesn't mean to, and might dissuade you from, doing something that's going to make you feel better without intending to do that.
But I think that's a good note to end on is don't ask permission. You tell people this is what you're doing. It's not their decision, and it doesn't matter what their opinion of it is. This is what you want to do, and that's what you're going to do. But I really hope that this helps some people. I hope this answered some of your questions, and I hope it makes you more confident, if you are in a situation where maybe you're divorced and you have to get back on the dating scene, or maybe you're, just starting to date or whatever. I hope this does help you to address the topic with whoever, your friends, your family, your significant other, whoever, whatever, But if you have not already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Give this video a like. I will see you next time.
Bye.
Life is ours, we live it our way. Hold these words, I don't just say